Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I want to talk to you about something simple but powerful. It's not flashy, it's not glamorous, but it's what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. It's what takes you from where you are to where you could be. The desire to get better. You see, greatness doesn't happen by accident. Improvement doesn't knock on your door and say, "Here I am." No, you have to want it. You have to chase it. You have to desire it so badly that failure becomes a stepping stone and not a dead end. Life has a funny way of testing us. It doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if the odds are against you. But life will give you a chance to get better. It's up to you to take it. Because here's the truth. If you're not moving forward, you're moving backward. There is no middle ground. You don't stand still in life. If you stop pushing, stop striving, stop growing, you'll find yourself falling behind. So let me ask you this, are you satisfied with where you are right now? Are you done? Or is there something more inside of you? You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to be perfect. But you do have to show up. You do have to wake up every day and say, "I will not settle." Maybe your dreams feel far away. Maybe you've stumbled. Maybe people have told you it's not going to happen. But here's the secret: they don't decide your future. You do. It starts with one choice, one moment, one decision to get back up, to get better. Because there's power in the process, power in practice, power in perseverance. You don't have to be the best today. You just have to be better than yesterday. You keep building, you keep grinding, you keep showing up. And one day you'll look back and realize something: you didn't just get better, you became the kind of person who inspires others to do the same. And that is the mark of someone who never gave up on their desire to grow. So my friends, don't let comfort steal your potential. Don't let fear steal your dreams. Get up, take the shot, do the work. And no matter where you are in life, always keep the desire to get better. Growth is not automatic. It doesn't come knocking on your door like an invited guest. It doesn't happen just because you want it or because you're thinking about it. Growth demands action. It requires a conscious, intentional effort to step out of your comfort zone and challenge yourself to become better. Intentional growth means you're not leaving your progress to chance. You don't simply hope things will get better. You actively work to make them better. Too often we fall into the trap of believing that time alone will bring improvement. If I just wait, things will change, we tell ourselves. But here's the truth: time doesn't heal laziness. It doesn't reward inaction. Time only rewards the efforts we put in. To get better, you need a plan. You need discipline. You need the kind of focus that turns dreams into actions. Take a moment and think about the people you admire: successful athletes, leaders, artists, or entrepreneurs. Their growth didn't happen by accident. It happened because they chose to commit to getting better every single day. They understood that progress is a process. Intentional effort starts with one question: what am I doing today to improve? It might mean waking up earlier to read and learn. It might mean spending extra hours honing your craft, practicing a skill, or building your knowledge. It might mean making sacrifices, turning off distractions, saying no to comfort, and saying yes to hard work. Here's a fact: intentional growth isn't glamorous. It's not always exciting. You'll get tired. You'll feel like quitting. Some days you won't see immediate results. But growth doesn't always show up in leaps and bounds. It happens slowly in the small steps you take each day. Like a seed planted in the soil, growth happens beneath the surface before it's visible to the world. The question you have to ask yourself is, how badly do I want it? If you want to get better, if you want to grow, then you must take responsibility for it. No one else can do it for you. The desire to grow has to come from within you. You must decide that mediocrity is not enough. You must decide that your potential is worth the effort. Growth also requires consistency. It's not a one-time effort. You don't grow by giving your best for one day, 1 week, or even 1 month. You grow by showing up again and again, long after the excitement is worn off. Intentional effort is about building habits, doing what's necessary, not just what's convenient. At the end of the day, the people who grow are the ones who make the choice to take action. They don't just talk about their dreams, they work for them. They don't just wait for opportunities, they prepare for them. They take ownership of their future. So ask yourself, are you hoping for growth, or are you working for it? The answer will determine how far you'll go. Because growth, my friends, requires intentional effort. Life is not a static experience. It's constantly moving, shifting, and changing. And in this ever-moving journey, there's no such thing as standing still. You are either pushing forward toward progress, growth, and your goals, or you're sliding backward into complacency, stagnation, and regret. It's a simple truth. If you're not growing, you're declining. Too often, people convince themselves that they can just coast. They believe that staying where they are is enough, that it's safe. But life doesn't work that way. If you aren't striving to improve, then by default, you are falling behind. Why? Because the world is moving forward. Time keeps ticking. Others are out there working, pushing, learning, and growing. Standing still is a neutral. It's losing ground. Think about a river for a moment. If you're not paddling against the current, the water will pull you backward. You might not notice it at first because the movement is slow, almost unnoticeable. But over time, you'll look up and realize you're nowhere near where you wanted to be. Life operates the same way. If you're not actively progressing, even in small steps, the current of time and circumstances will move you backward. The key here is awareness. You have to recognize that growth is a choice, a decision you make every day. It doesn't mean you have to achieve massive success overnight. It means you're making a deliberate effort to move forward, even if it's just a little bit. Forward momentum is everything. Improvement can be small, like learning a new skill, developing a better habit, or investing in your health. These incremental changes may not seem significant at first, but over time, they add up to transformation. Now, falling backward doesn't require any effort. It's easy to sit still and wait for life to happen to you. It's easy to make excuses. It's easy to say, I'll start tomorrow, or I'm fine where I am. But comfort is a trap. When you stop growing, you stop living fully. You settle for a version of yourself that is far less than who you could be. And deep down, you'll feel it. You'll feel the weight of untapped potential. You'll feel the regret of opportunities passed by. To keep moving forward, you need focus. You need to set goals, challenge yourself, and refuse to settle for mediocrity. It doesn't mean you won't stumble or face setbacks, because you will. Progress isn't always a straight line. Sometimes you'll take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. That's okay, as long as you keep moving. It's the forward motion that matters. Here's the truth. There is no destination in growth. You don't arrive at success and stop. Growth is a lifelong journey. Even the most successful people in the world, athletes, leaders, or innovators, understand that if they stop pushing, stop striving, they'll start to decline. So take a hard look at your life. Are you moving forward? Or are you letting yourself slide backward? Are you growing, or are you coasting? If you want to be the best version of yourself, you must keep moving. You must choose progress over comfort, purpose over complacency, and growth over stagnation. Because remember, you're either moving forward or falling backward. The choice is yours. Failure, it's a word that most people fear. It's a word that makes hearts sink and confidence tremble. But failure is not the enemy. Failure is not the end. In fact, failure is one of the greatest teachers life has to offer. Failure is a stepping stone to success. Let's break this down. Every successful person you admire has failed probably more times than they can count. The difference is that they didn't let failure define them. They didn't let it stop them. Instead, they used it as fuel to keep going, as a tool to learn, grow, and get better. You see, failure only becomes a dead end if you quit, if you let it paralyze you, if you let it convince you that you're not good enough. But failure, when viewed correctly, is a sign of progress. It means you tried. It means you took action. It means you were brave enough to step outside of your comfort zone and do something that others might have been too afraid to attempt. I think about a child learning to walk. They don't succeed on the first try. They fall again and again. But what happens? They get back up. They stumble forward. They try once more. And with each attempt, they get stronger. They get better. And soon enough, they're running. As adults, we forget this. We think failure is a sign that we should stop. But failure isn't a sign to quit, it's a signal to adjust, to learn, and to try again. Every time you fail, you are one step closer to success because you're gaining something valuable experience. You're learning what works and what doesn't. You're building resilience, strength, and determination. Failure refines you. It humbles you. It teaches you things that success never will. Success is sweet, but failure? Failure is where the real growth happens. Let's look at history. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." He didn't see failure as defeat, he saw it as discovery. Each mistake brought him closer to his goal. Imagine if he had quit on attempt number 50, or 100, or 1,000. The world might still be in darkness. So what about you? What dreams have you abandoned because of failure? What goals are gathering dust because you stumbled once and told yourself you weren't capable? It's time to change your perspective. Failure isn't a wall blocking your path, it's a stepping stone leading you forward. The truth is, failure is unavoidable if you're pursuing something meaningful. If you're not failing, it means you're not trying hard enough. You're not taking risks. You're not pushing yourself to grow. Embrace failure as part of the journey. It's not a mark of weakness, it's a mark of effort. It proves that you're in the game while others are still sitting on the sidelines. So the next time you fall, don't let it defeat you. Don't let it be the end of your story. Look at the lesson. Learn from it. Adjust your approach. And then get back up stronger and smarter than before. Because failure isn't final, it's just a stepping stone to something greater. Progress is not something you achieve in a single day, a single moment, or through one big success. Progress is built through consistent, intentional effort day after day, little by little. It is a daily commitment to yourself, to your goals, and to the life you envision. We often hear about overnight successes, but what we don't see are the countless days of hard work, discipline, and dedication that came before the breakthrough. Progress happens in the unseen moments, the early mornings, the late nights, the times when no one is watching or cheering you on. These are the moments that define you. Because real progress is not about a single leap. It's about showing up every day, putting in the work, and moving one step closer to your dreams. Think about this: if you improve just 1% every day, where will you be in a year? That 1% may seem small, almost insignificant. But over time, it adds up. It compounds. The truth is, small, consistent actions are far more powerful than bursts of effort, followed by periods of inaction. The key to growth is not intensity, it's consistency. Commitment to progress means holding yourself accountable, even when it's hard. It means showing up on the days when you don't feel like it, when motivation is low, and when excuses are loud. Anyone can work hard when they're inspired, but the people who make real progress are the ones who work hard even when inspiration is nowhere to be found. They understand that discipline, not motivation, is what leads to results. Progress is a choice you make every day. It's choosing to wake up and give your best effort, even when yesterday wasn't perfect. It's choosing to learn from mistakes instead of letting them discourage you. It's choosing growth over comfort, knowing that true change requires sacrifice. Progress is not always exciting. It's not always glamorous. Some days it's repetitive. It's boring. It feels slow. But those days matter just as much as the big moments because they are building your foundation. Here's the beautiful part about making progress a daily commitment: it transforms you. Not just your skills or achievements, but you. The process of showing up every day strengthens your character, your mindset, and your discipline. You become more resilient, more determined, and more focused. Now, let's be clear, progress doesn't mean perfection. You will stumble. You will have days when you don't get it right. That's okay. What matters is that you don't quit. What matters is that you get back up, keep moving forward, and commit to trying again tomorrow. Progress is not about never falling, it's about always getting back up. So make a promise to yourself each day: do something, no matter how small, that moves you closer to your goals. Read one more page, practice for one more hour, make one more call, take one more step. Because every effort counts, every step matters. And when you commit to progress daily, You will look back one day and realize just how far you've come. Remember this: success is built on the foundation of small, consistent efforts. Progress is not a destination, it's a daily commitment. Keep showing up, keep working, and keep growing. Your potential is not determined by where you come from, what people think of you, or the circumstances you find yourself in today. Your potential is yours and yours alone to decide. It is not defined by your past mistakes, your failures, or the limitations that others try to place on you. You hold the power to shape your life, your success, and your growth. The problem is that too many people hand over control of their potential to the world. They listen to the voices of doubt, the critics, and the naysayers. They believe the labels others slap on them: you're not good enough, you're not talented enough, or it's impossible for someone like you. But let me tell you this: other people don't get to decide your limits unless you let them. Your life, your growth, and your success are determined by the choices you make, the effort you put in, and the belief you hold in yourself. When you decide to take ownership of your potential, everything changes. Suddenly, you stop waiting for opportunities to come to you, start creating them. You stop blaming circumstances for holding you back, you start finding ways to overcome them. The first step in realizing your potential is to believe it exists. Deep down, you must believe that you are capable of more, that you have something inside you worth fighting for. Because here's the truth: we all have greatness inside us, but it's up to us to unlock it. No one is born successful. No one is born knowing exactly how to reach their goals. Every person who has achieved something extraordinary started in the same place, with a belief in themselves and a willingness to work. You see, your potential is like a seed. It's small at first, and no one can see what it will become. It doesn't look like much, but when you nurture it, when you water it with hard work, discipline, and a desire to get better, it grows. Over time, it can bloom into something powerful, something extraordinary. But the choice to grow that seed, that's on you. Deciding to live up to your potential also means rejecting the temptation to settle. It's easy to get comfortable. It's easy to stop pushing yourself and accept good enough. But the moment you settle is the moment you begin to shrink your potential. Don't let comfort rob you of what you could become. Understand this: life will test you. It will challenge you. It will try to convince you that you're not strong enough or smart enough to reach your goals. But when you take ownership of your potential, you refuse to let the obstacles stop you. You keep going, keep learning, and keep growing. So what do you want your life to look like? What dreams are you holding back on because you're afraid of failure or doubt your own ability? You must decide that your potential is worth the effort. You must decide that your future is worth the fight. At the end of the day, your potential is not defined by anyone else. It is yours to claim. Your mindset, your determination, and your actions will decide how far you go. So step up. Take control. Dream bigger. Work harder. And remember this: you are capable of far more than you think. The only question is, will you decide to live up to it?